Hi, it's Suzy from Active Seniors with another quick exercise tip. I hope that everyone's staying safe, but most importantly, staying active during lockdown. Today, I'm going to go through a technique tip for a common exercise that's used to strengthen the hip muscles. The exercise is called a clam, and I'll demonstrate the exercise first before going through the technique tip and then explaining why it's such a great exercise to do. So first things first, for the clam, you're going to be lying down on your side. You can do this exercise on your bed because you don't need a firm surface underneath you to be able to effectively push up. Support your upper body in whatever position is comfortable. You might want to have a pillow or a couple of pillows here to support yourself. I'm going to use my hand for the time being. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep your knees bent, your feet stacked, and you're going to bring the legs apart, keeping the feet together. Now, the common thing that we see people doing when they do this exercise is they tend to rock and rotate through the pelvis quite a lot. And it's very difficult to know you're doing this if you're not aware of your position. So one of the things that you can do to make this a little bit easier to detect and to stop is to use something like a wall, or potentially you might want to use the bottom part of a lounge. You're going to bring yourself right back against it, okay? And you're going to make sure that your hip is touching and that your feet are touching the wall and that your hips are stacked one on top of the other as long as it's comfortable to do so. Now, when you're in this position here, you're still doing the same movement, bringing the legs apart, but you'll notice now that the wall stops you from moving the hips back. It's the most common mistake that we see people doing when they do the exercise is that they let the pelvis rotate too far back, and therefore they're not getting as much of that good rotation through the hip. Now, why is that rotation important? Well, rotation through the hip, especially in that position, one of the muscles that performs that is called the piriformis muscle. And that works hand in hand with some of the other muscles that stabilise the pelvis, especially the glute medius muscles, which are active when you're standing on the one leg. And the two together really protect that hip. They provide a splint and compress that area so that some of the stress and the forces that go through the hip joint, and especially the neck of the hip, are reduced. Now, if you have a condition like osteoporosis, that's something that's really important to reduce your risk of a minimal trauma fracture. So I hope you've enjoyed today's tip. Stay safe. Stay active, share this with someone who you think could benefit, especially if they do have something like osteoporosis. And I'll see you soon, as always, for another quick exercise tip.